Friends, it's me, Meerab, and I welcome you all to Starspill USA. Today's story is pure sister wives drama, one that mixes secrets, money, and betrayal so deeply that even longtime fans are left speechless. This time we're diving into the $1 million Flagstaff mansion scandal, the home that, according to insiders, shattered trust between the wives and exposed what Janelle Brown had suspected all along about Kody and Robyn. The mansion that exposed everything. It started innocently enough, a real estate listing, a beautiful home with double staircases, chandelier lighting, and a massive backyard. But soon, fans discovered the paperwork behind it. Robyn Brown's name and Kody Brown's signature on a mortgage totaling $1.68 million. And Janelle? She had no clue. No discussion. No notice. Nothing. While she and Christine were still waiting for Kody's promises about building homes on Coyote Pass, Robyn and Kody were secretly signing mortgage papers behind closed doors. When Janelle found out, her words said it all. He takes care of himself. He sees what he needs to do, and he just does what is right for him, and what is right for Robyn. That was the moment she realized something had gone very, very wrong. The secret mortgage trail. According to leaked property documents, the Flagstaff mansion came with a $1.68 million mortgage and a $420,000 down payment, in cash. And that's where the questions began. Where did that money come from? At the time, the Brown family was already struggling financially. Coyote Pass construction was delayed, multiple wives were renting homes, and everyone had been told to tighten budgets. So how did Kody and Robyn manage to pull together nearly $500,000 overnight? Sources say Janelle always believed that major financial decisions went through family discussions. But this one never came up. Not at any meeting, not even off camera. When Janelle compared the purchase timeline with family bank activity, she allegedly found unexplained transfers. And that's when she started to get suspicious. To behind closed doors, back in 2019, while the family was supposedly saving for future homes, Robyn and Kody were quietly moving into a luxury property worth millions. When confronted later, Robyn allegedly told others, "This house is for the family." But Janelle's reaction was blunt. Then why are only your names on the papers? The mansion was built to Robyn's taste. Elegant decor, pristine white interiors, expensive finishes. Nothing about it said, shared family home. And when fans noticed that neither TLC nor the family ever mentioned this purchase on the show, theories started spreading fast. Screenshots of the mortgage documents went viral online with captions like, "Robyn's real priority revealed. They hid this for years." Viewers felt deceived. And behind the scenes, Janelle allegedly felt the same, betrayed and shut out from the biggest financial decision in the family's history. Janelle's fury. Janelle's anger wasn't just about the money, it was about trust. She'd spent years believing that every wife's sacrifices were leading to their collective dream at Coyote Pass. Instead, she found herself watching Robyn move into a mansion with chandeliers while she was downsizing and struggling to save every penny. At one point, Janelle even lived in an RV while waiting for her own land plans to move forward. Meanwhile, Robyn was unpacking boxes in a house big enough to host a wedding reception. When Janelle went through her own financial records, she reportedly noticed missing funds and temporary transfers marked for family expenses. Now she's demanding full transparency, and if any of her money was used, repayment. Mary joins the doubt. Mary Brown's reaction was just as emotional. According to insiders, she started questioning her own financial involvement, especially since she was the one who once supported Robyn's legal marriage to Kody. Mary allegedly told a friend, "I thought I was helping the family. Turns out I was just helping them." The irony? Mary, who once owned a successful inn, has spent years bouncing between short-term rentals while Robyn enjoys her forever home. The very home Mary might have indirectly helped her qualify for. Hidden from the cameras, what shocked fans most was that none of this ever made it onto the TLC show. Not a single mention of the mansion, the mortgage, or the financial tension appeared in confessionals or family discussions. Fans believe that wasn't an accident. It was deliberate. A calculated move to protect Kody and Robyn's image until everything was legally secured and untouchable. Now, whispers inside the Brown circle suggest that Janelle is considering legal consultation, especially if any of her shared funds were used to finance Robyn's property. Because if her name or her money is tied to those documents in any way, this story could turn from reality TV drama to a real legal nightmare. The $420,000 question. The most mysterious detail remains the $420,000 down payment, cold, hard cash. For a family that constantly spoke of being financially stretched, that number doesn't make sense. Insiders suspect that funds may have been quietly rerouted from shared accounts under the label of temporary family expenses. If true, that means other wives unknowingly contributed to Robyn's luxury mansion, a move that could destroy any remaining trust between them. What happens next? Inside sources claim there's now a silent Cold War in the family. Robyn is desperate to defend herself publicly. Kody insists that he did what was best for his household, and Janelle is gathering evidence, determined not to be silenced this time. Even Christine from the outside is said to be quietly supporting Janelle's pursuit of answers, calling it long overdue. And Meri? She's reportedly stopped all communication with Robyn altogether. What was once the spiritual unity of sister wives has now turned into a financial battlefield. A final thoughts. This wasn't just about a house. It was about betrayal, manipulation, and secrecy. The $1 million Flagstaff mansion stands as a monument, not to love or family, but to everything that tore the Browns apart. While Robyn and Kody live behind iron gates, the rest of the wives are left behind with empty promises and years of emotional debt. So the real question isn't just where did the money come from? It's at what cost did Kody and Robyn buy their peace, and who paid the price? When Janelle finally snapped by the time Janelle Brown connected all the dots, something inside her reportedly broke. For years, she'd been the practical wife, the one who budgeted, who sacrificed, who believed that if she just stayed patient, the dream of building on Coyote Pass would finally come true. But that dream quietly crumbled the very moment Robyn's $1 million mansion deal closed. While Janelle was still fighting to secure building permits, still mapping out water lines and septic systems, Robyn was already curled up beside a stone fireplace in her custom-built living room. Sources close to the family say Janelle felt humiliated, like she'd been sold a vision of equality, only to discover she was never part of the plan. And from that moment on, she stopped being polite. She stopped asking and started demanding answers. To where did it come from? One insider recalls the confrontation that changed everything. Janelle reportedly cornered Kody Brown after discovering the full down payment amount, $420,000 in cash. "Where did it come from?" she asked. "Was it from our fund? Did you use my share without telling me?" As usual, Kody allegedly dodged the question. First, he claimed it came from a separate loan. Then he said it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up. And finally, when pressed again, he turned the blame back on her, saying, "If you just trusted the process, you'd have your own house by now too." That was the breaking point. Janelle reportedly realized the process was never designed to include her, that all her budgeting, all her patience, all her loyalty had only ever benefited Robyn. Now, insiders say she's done playing along. She's tracing every financial transaction linked to Coyote Pass, from transfers to joint accounts to payments with Kody's name on both ends. She wants to know exactly where the money went and why Robyn never once offered to include the family in her so-called family home. Illegal lines and tough questions. According to one family friend, Janelle's even considered speaking to an attorney, not to sue, not yet, but to get clarity on what she might legally be owed. Because if any of her money was used toward Robyn's mortgage, even by accident, she could have a rightful claim to reimbursement or equity in the mansion. And that's not a conversation Robyn wants to have, especially now that public support is shifting. For years, Robyn portrayed herself as the misunderstood peacemaker, the shy, soft-spoken outsider. But this? A multi-million-dollar secret mortgage, hidden while the other wives were living with broken promises? This feels different. This feels strategic. If Janelle takes this further, the next bombshell might not be emotional. It might be legal. Meri Brown breaks her silence. No one expected Meri Brown to speak up. For years, she'd been the quiet loyalist, clinging to her place in the family long after Kody's affection had faded. But something's changed. Maybe it's the freedom that came with finally walking away from Kody. Maybe it's the sting of realizing she was used as a stepping stone for Robyn's rise. Whatever the reason, insiders say Meri isn't keeping quiet anymore. Once Janelle began questioning the down payment, Meri started revisiting her own sacrifices, and what she found left her shaken. Back when the family moved to Flagstaff, money was tight. Everyone was told the Browns needed to pool resources for a fresh start. So Meri downsized, sold her Las Vegas home, and gave up her personal dreams, trusting that it was for the family. But now, She reportedly suspects that her sacrifices might have funded Robyn's comfort. The timing of that $420,000 down payment lines up eerily well with a series of shared account withdrawals the wives had discussed in old meetings. Now Mary's combing through her old bank statements, spotting transfers made under the family account that suddenly look suspicious. No documents have been made public yet, but the rumors are spreading fast. Fans think Mary's finally seeing what Christine and Janelle saw years ago, that Robyn wasn't just playing house. She was playing a long game. A game of loyalty on the surface and consolidation behind the scenes. We helped build that life, without us. When Janelle and Mary finally met privately, away from cameras and away from Kody, the conversation reportedly turned raw. Janelle laid out everything she'd uncovered. Mary's reaction wasn't disbelief, it was anger. According to one insider, Mary told Janelle, "We helped build that life. And they built it without us." For years, these two women had a strained relationship, constantly navigating Kody's shifting affections and Robyn's growing influence. But now they have a common cause, not jealousy, but justice. They want proof. They want the paper trail. They want to know who signed, who paid, and who benefited. Because at this point, it's not about real estate anymore. It's about trust and betrayal. Kody in damage control mode. As for Kody Brown, he's doing what he always does when the walls start closing in, deflecting. When Janelle and Mary allegedly confronted him about the mortgage, insiders say he went into full spin mode. First came confusion. What loan? He reportedly asked, pretending not to know, despite his signature sitting on the county records website. Then came indignation. He allegedly told them they were blowing things out of proportion, insisting the house was a family investment, and that they should be grateful he and Robyn handled it without bothering them. But the problem with Kody's story? It keeps changing. Sometimes he says the mansion was a strategic investment that will benefit everyone in the long run. Other times he claims it was a necessity for Robyn's younger kids, a stability move during hard times. But when pressed for details, like how the equity would be divided or when the other wives might see returns, Kody reportedly had nothing. Meanwhile, the contradictions keep piling up. And the internet connects the dots. Fans online have done their own detective work, creating detailed timelines that expose the inconsistencies. They've noticed how, just days before closing on the luxury property, Kody was on camera saying the family was broke and couldn't afford to build on Coyote Pass. Screenshots and receipts flood Reddit and Facebook, painting a picture of manipulation and selective truth-telling. To many, it looks like Kody was gaslighting the other wives, keeping them trapped in uncertainty while he and Robyn quietly secured their future. Now, with Janelle demanding accountability and Mary pulling receipts, the cracks in Kody's narrative are becoming impossible to ignore. Final thoughts, friends. This isn't just another family feud. This is the moment the entire sister-wives dynamic turns on its head. For over a decade, the Browns sold viewers a story of faith, unity, and shared sacrifice. But behind the cameras was a web of financial secrecy, emotional manipulation, and power shifting quietly toward one corner: Robyn and Kody's. The rest? Left outside the gates of a mansion they unknowingly helped build. Because when you follow the money in this family, it doesn't just tell a story. It rewrites everything we thought we knew about the sister wives. When it comes to the Browns, following the money always leads somewhere unexpected, and this time it seems to point straight to Robyn Brown's front door. According to insiders, Kody's latest strategy is pure deflection. He's reportedly telling people that everyone technically knew about the mansion, just not the full details. His excuse? No one asked about the loan, so he didn't feel the need to explain it. Classic Kody move. A twist of words designed to make the wives feel confused, even crazy, for questioning him. But this time the gaslighting isn't working, because now the paper trail is undeniable. The receipts are too detailed, the dollar amounts too precise, and the emotional wounds far too deep to hide. Insiders claim that instead of taking accountability, Kody's turning the tables, accusing Janelle of being ungrateful, paranoid, and damaging the family with her digging. But from Janelle's side, the damage was already done, the very moment honesty left the conversation. One confidant quoted her saying, "He expects us to stay loyal while he builds a future we're not even part of." That single line has exploded across Facebook, Reddit, and TikTok, because it captures exactly what this whole scandal is about. It's not just about the money. It's about betrayal. About being written out of the story you helped build. When Robyn finally broke her silence, it wasn't through a statement or social post. It was through one of her now familiar tearful interviews. The trembling voice, the emotional tone. She framed the $1 million mansion not as deception, but as a painful misunderstanding. "We just wanted a stable home," Robyn reportedly said. "The kids needed somewhere peaceful to grow up." And while a few fans sympathized, most saw right through it. Because stability doesn't usually come with central air, walk-in closets, and granite countertops. Production sources say Robyn was coached to soften her tone, to come across as emotional, not entitled. But the damage was already done. The shy, misunderstood outsider image she once wore like armor? Gone. Now she's seen as the woman who cried her way to comfort while everyone else downsized. Even Mary, once Robyn's biggest defender, has gone quiet. And in this family, silence says everything. As the smoke clears, fans are noticing something deeper. The story of the mansion has exposed the lie at the heart of Coyote Pass, that patch of Arizona land that was supposed to unite the family, now sitting empty like a ghost of what might have been. When the land was first purchased, Kody promised each wife her own home. They dreamed of raising children side by side. 4 houses, 1 family, 1 future. But while Janelle was out there with measuring tape and blueprints, Robyn and Kody were signing mortgage papers for a life far away from that shared dream. Insiders claim Robyn quietly stopped contributing to the Coyote Pass fund not long after her mansion deal closed, redirecting her money toward her own home instead. Meanwhile, Janelle was still paying taxes on the empty land. To Janelle, this isn't just about lost money, it's about lost faith. For years, she believed in the dream, believed in the family, but now, when she stands on that barren land, all she sees are broken promises and wasted years. Because while she was fighting for togetherness, Robyn was already building her escape route. And when whispers of lawyers started spreading online, everyone thought it was just gossip, until it wasn't. According to new reports, both Janelle and Mary have privately spoken with legal advisors. Not to sue yet, but to understand exactly what they're owed. Because if any of their contributions, even a single dollar, went toward Robyn's $420,000 down payment without full disclosure, then restitution could be on the table. And that's a word Kody and Robyn definitely don't want to hear. The issue isn't only who paid what. It's about what was promised. For years, the family pooled their finances. One shared fund, shared expenses, shared dreams. But when trust evaporates, what's left are only paper trails and regret. Now, Janelle is reportedly combing through old statements, matching withdrawal dates with property records, trying to piece together a financial puzzle that may change everything. A family friend put it bluntly: "When money crosses state lines, bank accounts, and marriages, it gets messy fast." If Janelle or Mary can prove their money was used, even indirectly, they could be legally entitled to compensation. Which means Robyn might soon have to answer these questions not just at home, but in court. Because make no mistake, a lawsuit between sister wives would send shockwaves through the TLC universe. Robyn and Kody's silence isn't helping. Aside from Robyn's emotional interview and Kody's defensive excuses, neither has shown receipts or proof that the money was theirs alone. Just vague statements and misdirection. And the longer they stay quiet, the guiltier it looks. Meanwhile, Janelle's tone has changed. She's no longer saying, "I just want to keep the peace." Now she's saying, "I want what's mine." And Mary, once the loyal bystander, has found her voice too. She's reportedly reviewing whether the assets promised to her under their plural marriage agreement were ever truly honored. If they weren't, and those resources helped fund Robyn's comfort, she could have her own case for restitution. Because this isn't about a dream home anymore. It's about accountability, decades of shared sacrifice, ending with one wife living like royalty while the others count the cost. If lawyers get involved, Robyn might wish she'd shared more than tears. Because forgiveness is optional, but financial transparency? That's about to be mandatory. In the end, the mansion has become a symbol, not of love or unity, but of separation, secrets, and control. Perched high above Flagstaff, it's the house that finally broke the illusion of one family. Janelle's evolution says it all. From practical wife to truth seeker, from loyal to liberated. She doesn't want revenge, she wants respect, her investment, and her share. Mary's finally stepping out of the shadow too. Once dismissed as bitter or clingy, she's now reclaiming her voice. Not to chase love, but to demand fairness. As for Robyn, the tears don't hit the same anymore. Her image as the fragile outsider has faded, replaced by a cold reality. She wasn't just favored, she was funded. So what comes next for the Browns? No one knows. The trust is gone, the documents are public, and the dream that once defined them has turned into a cautionary tale. Because in the end, this wasn't just about money. It was about who was truly part of the family, and who was always sitting at the top of the hill, watching it all fall apart.